Oh my god, this is my third attempt trying to record this tutorial. I painted this and I did it with all the patience of the world. I really love Sue, and it went wrong because it didn't record anything of what I was saying. And now I just finished doing this Kumatora and I fucked up the audio again because it was too loud. So yeah, let's start again. I'm going to make a new drawing, or actually let me look if I have anything saved. Yes, this one. This from the time I started drawing the Lucases from the Nesca server. Yes. No sé qué pasó acá. Se suponía que iba a ser el line de la otra cosa, pero pues terminó en un Lucas aburrido, igual que yo con la vida a veces. Entonces pues... Oh my god, I'm speaking Spanish. So, we have our little board Lucas. Not so little, he's like 7 feet tall. I'm gonna proceed with the coloring. So, first thing first, I'm gonna use my magic wand and I'm going to select the outside of my drawing. Then I'm going to invert it and I'm going to blur the edge. You don't have to blur the edge, but I like doing it. It doesn't affect anything. And then you create a folder, and in your folder you are going to make a mask with that selection. So when you create anything inside that folder and you are starting to fill out your line art, you can just like this, and it's never going to go outside the line. Why do I do this? Because I'm worse than a toddler and I cannot draw inside the lines. For the inside, the first thing I always start with is the skin. And I also, I should do this, but I forget it a lot. I make the background gray so I don't make anything like neon. You might have seen some art of mine looks like excessively neon. It's because of that. Then I'm going to start by adding a really bright, strong color like this red. And with my paintbrush that comes with Clip Studio Paint, it's called Paint and Apply, I'm gonna start painting the darkest areas of my drawing, like this. There we go. So now that we have done this, what I'm going to do next is select the default skin color and make it darker and saturated. Let's compare a bit darker. Yep. And I'm going to color that almost over the edge of our dark color, like this. Now I'm going to color the eyes, and I'm going to start with gray, and you'll say, why the hell are you doing that? And that's because eyes are not white. Eyes are like your teeth and your bones. They are a little bit yellow. Some people have them more yellow than others, so I start as gray and I start lightening it little by little, bit by bit, until I get the strong white. In that way I make the shadow of the eye and it looks a little bit more realistic. I'm gonna make it lighter for the sake of stylization. There we go. Maybe a little more reddish. Maybe he has been crying. I'm gonna add light. I'm kind of fighting the the impulse to give him blush, but I gotta stop doing that because it's not normal to be blushing every time. I'm gonna lighten this side of his face a little though. With that done, I'm going to use this new layer to paint his hair. So now that I have done this, I'm going to lock the layer so I can only color on the inside. How is this called? So I'm going to do the same thing I did for the skin. I'm going to start coloring with a very dark and saturated color. You might have noticed by now that I don't do effect layers. I don't like them because I can't control them. And you may tell me, oh, you're a control freak. And you know what? I maybe am. There we go. I'm going to pick a lighter color for the shadows, maybe this one. Nah. I just realized this could have been the perfect middle color for the shadow. So what I'm going to do now, since I am painting in the same layer, is pick this color and pick a darker one and just paint the layer. You can invert the process too, like this. Like you can totally do that. I just think it's way easier to start with the dark one and then paint over with the lighter one, but you can do it in reverse too. Now I'm going to make some highlights with the same base color, like this. I like doing this with Lucas' hair. It makes it look a little bit more messy, you know? Now I'm going to add highlights. For this I'm going to use an effect layer because Lucas is blonde and I like to think his hair shines like a little bit like gold. Have you ever seen a person with hair so light that it looks like it's strands of gold or something like that? I have a friend called Nikki and her hair kinda shines like that and I think that's super cute. Shout out Nikki, Nick Ball. So that's the hair. I'm going to color the liner layer. I'm gonna make it like a dark brown. This is a habit from the DeviantArt era. Everybody will do the liner brown and it look cute. I don't know how they made it to look cute, but whatever. And up top of that liner, I'm going to create a new layer. I'm gonna lock it down with that one. And I'm going to start painting the eyes. So what I do now that I know how to paint eyes, is I use my airbrush and color this. And then I color with a super dark variant like this. Top and down, up and down. And now with my brush, my painting brush, I'm gonna do this. Create this enemy shape. I'm going to erase every part that doesn't need to be colored. This and this. And now I'm going to color the center with my normal pen. Like really lighter, like this, or maybe not so light. I'm going to pick this color and I'm gonna make it lighter like this. Doot, doot. I'm gonna create another layer on top and I'm gonna lock it with this one and I'm gonna add a shine layer. green, and add the lights. Here, here. Maybe that's too many. Because here he looks more serious, less anime. There you go. I also like using pure white and coloring the edge like this. So it looks like he has a light within the light. Then I'm going to make another layer looking with the line art, and I'm going to start painting eyelashes. We're going to paint the eyebrows. I almost forgot. Don't forget to paint the eyebrows. I forgot in multiple arts. I think there's even an art where Lucas has only one eyebrow painted. So yeah, don't forget that. Now let's color the clothing, and it's good I picked Lucas for this because I'm gonna teach you a trick I learned on TikTok. So let me put the base colors. Okay, so I have this color. I'm gonna lock the layer and I'm gonna color it with a brown, a cute brown, golden brown, like his hair. You can get why Ness likes him. And now to the TikTok trick. I'm going to copy this layer, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, change the color to what I want, that will be red, make it a little bit saturated and darker, and like a pink red because Mother has a really pinkish red. And I'm going to erase the parts I don't want red, so there. Now he has his striped shirt and the shadows make sense. I'm gonna add it to the lower layer and check values. There we go, good values. Erase the layer. I'm gonna make the background this color, maybe a bit more saturated, like this. And onto the final details. I'm gonna make a new layer, clip it to the layer under, add shine, use a greenish yellow, like a neon yellow, and I'm going to oh. Actually, I'm going to add my liner layer and my coloring layer in a single folder, and I'm going to do that effect like this. This is a good time to check your line art because what the hell is that? And I'm going to put this in another layer because I'm going to select everything. Control click on the folder, new layer, expand your selected area. I'm going to blur the edge, doesn't do anything, this is just a preference. And I'm going to add a very light yellow to a border, yay! And now I am going to add the final effects. So I'm going to combine all layers in a new layer, and I'm going to add noise, chroma aberration in a lateral angle. This is how you know I made something. I always add those two effects. So now that we have this, we can leave it like that, but I also like sometimes to copy paste the layer and add a filter that will be Gaussian blur. Make it like intense like that, maybe a bit more intense like this. Yep. Add a mask, and in the mask I'm going to erase the center. So I'm going to hide all the layers under it so I know what I'm erasing. So I'm going to erase the face and a bit of the shirt, the neck, because this is going to be my focus area. And this layer I'm gonna leave it as 85. in opacity. There! And last but not least, something you should really do always and that I haven't done in like a year or so, year and a half, because I got depressed, I guess, is always add your signature. So yeah, that's my tutorial. I hope this helps. I hope this was fun to watch. I don't know. But yeah, here it is. Yay!